prices will be higher than here. What's the price of it? $3.94 per gallon. Wow, just had a nice talk with a guy parked next to me, that old freight line. I see the green. Actually, you know, the funny thing is my truck is the same color, used to be from the factory. I can see it under the fenders, and he's pulling a tandem double drop, and he's just a regular truck. And I came over and said, you know, for this kind of work, what kind of axles do you recommend? And it turns out he has a Wisconsin plate, license plate, but he's from Ontario. So we started chatting. He loads somewhere here and then goes back. And he said this truck has 46 rears, but his previous truck, he had a Kenworth with a cat that he ran up to 2 million kilometers, which is what, maybe 1.2 million miles. And he sold that one, and he bought this one, just got it because it had, I think he said it had 700,000 kilometers, like 400,000 miles. And he says, you're crazy, don't buy a new truck, keep your old one, you don't need the heavy axles. He said he had Kenworth with, you know, regular axles, and it was fine. So what I wanted to show you guys is that something is happening with my fuel mileage here. By the way, here's a tip. If some people don't keep their logbooks, right? Sometimes it helps when you keep your logbook, just just to check your fuel mileage. For example, now, okay, last time I fueled was in Madison, and I didn't write down the mileage. So what we do here is it's cancelled. I check it here. From here, drive to recent destination. I don't know if I saved it. Lake Station Travel Center. No. Point of interest in the city. It was Wisconsin. Yeah, Wisconsin. I think it was Madison. Madison, Wisconsin, and there was a TA. Yeah, Madison Travel Center. So I just need to know the distance. Okay, 798 kilometers. What is that? 798 divided by 1.6. So that's 498 miles. Okay, and I just did, you see over there, you can see it's 65.69 gallons. Right, so what we do is, it's a very complex computation, so please don't do this at home when adults are not around for supervision. But now we're gonna figure out the top secret number of my fuel mileage over the past 500 miles. That's what happens when you have a 7.59. So that's from Madison, Wisconsin, pulling this 17,000 pound load. I think it was windy. No, it was windy before Wisconsin. From Wisconsin, actually, I think it was okay. It was blowing into my side, but still, you know, 7.59, and I drove at what was it, maybe 59 miles per hour, you know, like 95 kilometers an hour, because I got tired of driving slow. But yeah, first probably half a day I drove like really slow, maybe 92k an hour, 56. So that should be an interesting info for people that don't like aerodynamics, you know, that like buying classic trucks. Why am I saying that? Because it was windy, and my truck is an aerodynamic truck, you know. If I had a Kenworth or a Western Stock Classic, I probably would never have done this fuel mileage. But the most important thing, of course, forget aerodynamics. Aerodynamics is important, but the most important other thing is the weight of your load. You know, that's, of course, I don't like pulling heavy loads, but unfortunately that's what pays the bills, you know, that those loads,
it's canceled.
Those loads pay sometimes good money. So now I'm putting in my destination as border crossing, and from here it's 575 kilometers. What? I thought it was like 400 miles. 575, that's 5 hours 45 minutes, let's say. So that's roughly what, 350 miles. And I bought a book. I have an audio book unabridged, 8 CDs. It's called Beat the Reaper by Josh Bezel. So gonna have some fun time today. Should be easy driving. And the wind is blowing west. No, wait, 7.5 miles per gallon. I like that. Yeah, I know. That's my clutch pedal, guys. Come on, it's not fixable. It's an international truck, alright? It's the feature of this truck. They put it in specifically. It's an it's a safety device. You know, when you drive on the highway at like, you know, 70 miles per hour and you start shifting, so that noise keeps you awake. Of course, I don't know why you would be falling asleep if you're shifting at 70 miles per hour, but you know, I think the idea was sound. It's just that the international engineers didn't think it through very well. So, but you know, no one's perfect, right? Oh, by the way, this guy I just talked to, I asked him about I said, so what's if I have 6-axle rig, you know, 3 axles on the trailer, like thinking about my step deck, and the 3-axle truck, so 6 axles. Did I say 6? Yeah, 6. So if I have a 6-axle rig, how much can I haul between Ontario and US with a permit? And he started saying something about IRP plates and stuff like that, and I said, what are you talking about? And he says, well, you have an Illinois plate. I said, no, I have an international plate, because I'm paying for the, you know, IFTA and stuff like that. So my plate.
46th Street South, then turn right, Interstate 94 West, bound.
Yeah,
US 52 West, bound.
I'm registered everywhere. And he's like very old, you know, like older than the truck. And he says, well, if you had an IRP plate, like international registration, then you would be able to haul something like 63,500 kgs or 63.5 tons. And I checked my registration, and that's what it says for Ontario. Like, I'm already paying extra bridge formula, you know, like the maximum you can get with a permit on 6 axes, because it's all very confusing. So he wouldn't answer me. Well, I guess because, you know, right now he has he has 5 axle rig. Yeah, his double drop has only 2 axles, so I guess he's an expert only in 5 axle configurations. He did tell me that I don't need heavy axles, so that I should keep my track and
Interstate 94 westbound, US 52 westbound.
Basically says, yeah, don't bother with the new truck because of the emissions, because your truck is paid for, you know, so you don't want a new truck.
Follow Interstate 94 westbound, US 52 westbound, for 147 kilometers.
Well, my GPS, you know, I took one ramp to this Interstate 94, right? I took one ramp and then I was on the freeway, so this thing gives me sometimes so many instructions when you're still on the same highway, you're not turning anywhere. It keeps repeating the information. Like, the worst thing is going through Toronto. When I go through Toronto, Ontario, like every 3 kilometers, every 2 miles, it says something. I just turn it off, you know, like I turn the volume off. Because you need to have, like, I don't know, no nerves at all. Well, I'm leaving a small town in North Dakota called Carrington. It's a Tesoro truck stop called Stop and Go.
Turn right, US 52, Highway 200.
When I cross the street here, you see a tire place, and they have huge tires there. I guess it's like farm equipment.
Follow US 52, Highway 200, for 38 kilometers.
I just talked to a guy. He has a Volvo. And I told him about all these, you know, stories about the Cummins engine. How people are losing money in British Columbia on repairs. And he said this is his second truck, his second Volvo. And this is his second Cummins engine, and he's real happy with it. And the only 2 engines this guy trusts after the 7 years of experience, on-hand experience or hands-on experience, he says either Cummins or Detroit. So I'm just saying that that you don't know who to listen to, you know. Everybody says different things. Some people say Cummins is bad, some people say Detroit is bad. You know, not to choose a good engine. I'm in a town called Minot, North Dakota, and I see that on the right there used to be a regular truck stop. Now it's a
in there through the fuel pump and stop on the way out as if I just fueled. That was the only way to just run inside, get some coffee and get the hell out. It was the worst possible place. So that's why now I just flew by because I stopped. There was kind of like a rest area just across the street from another truck stop. So I just parked my truck, checked my load, and got some veggies. You don't find them every day. They're very expensive. Like I bought a little bowl of raw veggies, you know, like radish, peppers, you know, very nice. It's like $4. Yeah, $4.59. But it's worth it, you know. If you don't eat vegetables, you're dead. Well, if it's not you, then someone else for sure is dead, because then it's meat, right? So, but I do eat meat sometimes. So just now I got the salad and I got some deviled eggs. I like those. Anyway, 144 kilometers to the Canadian border. And I'm in Canada. Just crossed the border post, whatever you call it. They check my paperwork, and then she starts writing, and I said, oh, that's not a good sign, because you know, when they start writing like a note, that means that she's sending you inside. And sure enough, she said, the officer, the female officer said, the importer of this cargo rarely ships anything through this port, so I just want our guys to look at the load. So I went inside, and they asking me questions. They don't know what it is. I said, well, it's so the description is weird. It says a rail containment system. Rail containment system. Track rail containment system. So basically it's a pan to catch spills and prevent some, you know, hazardous liquids to get into the ground. So the lady inside said, oh, they look kind of neat. Everybody, some people say it's a weird load, some people say it's a, you know, unusual load. I'm in the parking lot of customs, Canadian customs. This is already Canada. US is kind of 100 meters away. And what's good about right now is that I'm gaining another hour. Because wait a second, I was on Chicago time, or Chicago time before, right? And I think I'm gonna gain 1 hour. I think there should be a sign that says Regina time or something. I see the sign Estevan, left